Call halal Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Yahweh Kakodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for pushing 100% truth who rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect that have been scattered throughout the four corners of the earth that look like the heathen nations. Shalom. Okay? Yeah, I just found out about this. I was scrolling through videos. It's like South African granted refugee status. How the fuck does that work when Esau Edom, the so-called white man, Agent Orange, is kicking out the so-called illegal immigrants? These are the people. This is their actual homeland. Okay, the illegal immigrants are the so-called white people, the Edomites. They're the illegals. Okay, they came here and set up their own laws, their own systems designed to maintain white power and privilege, and causes immense suffering for the non-white majority. But they call themselves the majority. You see, these people are hypocrites to the goddamn 12th power. Okay, let's go. Man, what the fuck? Okay, hold on, man. No bullshit. Hold on, gotta take you apart, you faggot. I don't understand the bullshit, but yeah, I'm finna go to Isaiah, 29, right, verse 15. Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord, and their works are done in the dark, and they say, who seeth us, or who knoweth us? Right? NLT. What sorrow awaits those who try to hide their plans from the Lord, who do their evil deeds in the dark. The Lord can't see us, they say. He doesn't know what's going on. Right? This is the wickedness of these goddamn Edomite devils, man. These motherfuckers are wild, man. They are wild. What the actual fuck, man? Come on, man. Hold on. All right. Let's go to, where is it? Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 2. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. The Lord says to Edom, NLT, I will cut you down to size among the nations. And that's what the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai has done. They did a survey of minority women to white women, as far as blacks and Latino women, Native American women, Asian women, all of these minority women's, okay, versus the white women, and the white women have the smallest number of babies per year, per month. On a global scale, the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai have made these people small among the heathen. And the reason why he's done that, so this way they don't spread their wickedness continually. I mean, that's all these people do, man, is they push wickedness and in evil and injustice. Okay? Come on, man. The elder Yashawamba had just made a video about this very same thing, and he said he had a video in there that they're arresting not only judges, but they're arresting congressmen, mayors of different cities that are like sanctuary cities for the so-called illegal immigrants. They're going in arresting the city councils, the city mayor. They're going in arresting the governor. Okay, what the fuck? Really? And this is what they're doing, man. This is unrighteous decrees and grievousness that they have prescribed. Let's go see, because Donald Trump was talking about suspending habeas corpus. Let's go find out what habeas corpus is right quick. Where is it at? Alrighty, hold on. Habeas corpus definition. Habeas corpus is a legal procedure requiring a person in custody to be brought before a court to determine the legality of their detention. Right? It essentially ensures that someone who is arrested or imprisoned can have their detention reviewed by a judge to ensure it is lawful. This right to challenge unlawful imprisonment is a fundamental protection against abuse of power. Okay? Now let's go to put it back in there. Habeas corpus. Habeas corpus Trump. Let's see what he says there. Okay. Uh-oh. What the hell? Hold on. What is habeas corpus? The legal procedure Trump is considering suspending. Okay, Stephen Miller writes all of the rhetoric. He writes all of Donald Trump's his presidential essay. The words that he speaks before the public. This is the guy that writes them. Okay, and Stephen Miller is a very staunch advocate for the Amalekite Khazars that are imposters claiming to be Israelites since 1860. Before then, they were just calling themselves Europeans. They were calling themselves Italian. They were calling themselves, British. They were calling themselves, fucking Scottish, Irish. But they weren't calling themselves Israelites before 1860. And since 1860, they've been calling themselves a race of people that they're not ever since. The Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai left a clue. But listen to this bullshit. Because this is what they're talking about. Okay.
If you thought Subway subs
okay. Well, then we can't go there.
Subway subs were legendary.
So can't get that. Oh, well. So what I'll do is we'll just go back over here to this video. Because I was going to put too much stuff in one video. Probably. More than likely. But the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai made these people small among the heathen. Right? Which means young. Like it says in, or least, lesser, little one, smallest, insignificant, unimportant. The Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai has made these people set up to loathe oneself, to feel a loathing, to detest, to feel loathing against oneself. They feel the perpetual hatred that all of the heathen nations have against them. And now that Donald Trump, through these tariffs, have isolated America, Babylon the Great, from the rest of the heathen world, this is a perfect opportunity for them to get revenge. And the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, the creator of the heavens, the earth, the sea, all that is therein in the foundations of water, controls the minds and the hearts of men, as it is written in Job chapter 33, verse 14 through 17. So there is no free will. These goddamn devils are doing exactly what the Most High wants them to do, especially Agent Orange. Okay, so to fulfill the Most High's will, okay, and have them all in agreement to burn America from off the face of the earth. Why? Because strong is the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, who judgeth Babylon the Great. Okay? These devils are not God. But what they're trying to do is they're trying to drum up, since they're small among the heathen and greatly despised among men, right? Like it says in the book of Jeremiah, this is a way that they're trying to do, is trying to, bring back their numbers. Okay, so they're making these 60 families to start off with filthy rich, probably give them each family $2, $3, $5 million. Okay, now, of course, the U.S. petrodollar is losing its strength in the world and the global financial markets, okay, and the consumer markets on a global scale. And a lot of these nations that are in the BRICS nations are also talking about getting rid of the U.S. debt that they have. By doing that, that's going to weaken the dollar even further to where it becomes useless toilet paper. By August 1st, 2025, they want to do away with fiat currency. So they're going to go full blast, full blown with trying to push digital currency on a global scale and put it in mainstream media here in America. So this way it will be inundated in your brain that's all you see on your podcasts, TikTok, YouTube, Rumble, BitChute. That's all you see. Odyssey, that's all you see. Instagram, Messenger, X, that's all you're going to see. Or it's advertising for central bank digital currency, the radio frequency identification microchip after August 1st. Okay? Officially, Donald Trump has weaponized the law enforcement and state and local authorities. He's weaponized them and have them have a backup with the military. You see what I'm saying? And he's doing that deliberately and on purpose to protect these individuals that you see and individuals in America that look just like them, okay, from ridicule, from whatever, okay. They're basically going back to the days of apartheid, and they're going to replace the Edomites here in America by giving the South African Edomites refugee status, so this way they can continue to reproduce. Okay, this is Donald Trump's way to reproduce of people that have not been eating and drinking the food and water that's been poisoned in America by the Food Drug Administration. Okay, that was originally aimed at and weaponized at the so-called black, Latino minority neighborhoods with the women and the children by sterilizing them slowly but surely. And this is the way to try to do that, is try to drum up their numbers, since they're already small among the heathen, okay, is to, you know, what do they say? They're going to, what is the word I was looking for? They're going to financialize. So basically, they're going to pay people. They're going to reward people, these individuals, and hundreds of thousands of others that they're planning on bringing over to the United States to replace the so-called legal immigrants and take the jobs. And because these 60 families are farmers, they're farming families that were over in South Africa. Okay, so since they're already farming families and bringing farmers over here to replace the farmers that they've already disenfranchised and put out of work and shut down their farms, these farms that were purchased by the United States government are going to be run by these people. Okay? And that food is going to be sent directly, okay, to these individuals. It's not going to be sent to the shelves of American homeowners and families that have already been here. Okay? Doing this shit deliberately and on purpose, man. They want to destroy the so-called American ideology, their thinking, and their way of life. Which is fine. That's fine by me. I don't give a shit. Okay? It's all being done to fulfill biblical prophecy that the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh will destroy these devils from off the face of the fucking earth, man. Let's see if I can go find it. Let's see. Boom. Oh, boom. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Ah, man. Okay, whatever. So, reminders. Who gives a shit? Alrighty. Let's go to, what is it? 2nd Ezra, chapter 5, verse 1. Nevertheless, as coming the tokens, behold, the days shall come that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in a great number. And this is what Donald Trump is about, weaponizing the police forces here in America by militarizing state and local authorities, right? And having them weaponized against the minority neighborhoods of blacks and Latinos, okay, in order to have them shipped to a different company for extermination and replace them with replace their empty houses, their empty jobs, the trucks, the cars, with these so-called South Africans that you've seen on the video. That's the only thing that makes any sense. The way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith. And those people, they believe in Cicero Borgia, okay? They believe in the false god Jesus Christ. They don't believe in Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. And the way of truth shall be hidden, okay? Which means the famine of the word is going to kick in. You know, like it says in Amos chapter 8, verse 11. Let's get it. Okay, and then I'll go back. Amos chapter 8, verse 11. Right? Behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord. And the only people that are speaking the words of the Lord are the righteous men standing on street corners, risking their lives and their freedom, spreading the truth of the gospel, of the good news that was aimed directly at the poor, the minorities, the veterans, you know, individuals that have sacrificed their freedom, their livelihood, everything, right? We preach to them to bring them out of the mindset of being an American citizen, doing what thou wilt, by any means necessary, knowing the terror of the Lord, okay, that he's controlling the minds and hearts of these devils to have them come against our people and they die without even knowing what happened or why, right? Behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord. Okay? Verse 12, and they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north, even from the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord, and shall not find it. Why? Because they're going to be trying to do everything they can to arrest us and take us out of the way, and shut down all, any and all type of street preaching or preaching at churches. Okay, I think it's in Montana, Wyoming, in Michigan. They've actually shut down churches and said in some counties in those states, they've made it illegal, okay, against the law to preach on Sunday, on just at church. What if you're preaching on Wednesday? Made it illegal. They shut the church down. Okay, I'm telling you, man. I wish I could find that article, but yeah, I probably can find it on YouTube because that's where I saw it. But yeah, they're shutting it down, man. You know, this is going to become a lawless society set up for the benefit of these Edomite devils. Okay, now let's go into where was I at? Second Ezra, Second Ezra chapter 5, right? Nevertheless, is coming the tokens. Behold, the days shall come that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in a great number. Okay, and they that the Bible here is speaking about, okay, are the Israelites that have been scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. That the lands in which they've been scattered to call them the minority in their countries. Okay, they are the ones that are going to be taken in a great number. That's where we say when it goes to Zechariah chapter 13 verse 8. And it shall come to pass in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die. Okay, but the third shall be left therein. And I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name. I will hear them. I will say, it is my people. They shall say, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is my power. Okay, so these devils, and we know what they're doing. They say their wickedness and wicked decisions that they make with these executive orders that Agent Orange is pushing are done in the dark. They're done on the weekend. They're during the week while you're asleep. You wake up, there's a new executive order that's been signed. What the fuck? You don't find out until it's already been in effect. You see what I'm saying? This is what we mean, man. And what it says in Second Ezra, if I can get it back, Second Ezra chapter 5. Okay, those being taken in a great number. I just read about it in Zechariah 13 and 8. The way of truth shall be hidden, found in Amos 8 and 11, and the land shall be barren of faith. Okay, won't have faith. What is the faith? Let's go find out what that is. Okay, faith. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. For by it the elders obtained a good report. Through faith we understand that the words were framed by the word of the Most High. And the word of the Most High is who? Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, whom you ignorantly call Jebus Crossed. So the worlds were framed by Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. Okay? So that the things that which are seen were not made of things which do appear. Right? By faith, Abel offered unto the Most High a more excellent sacrifice than Cain, by which he obtained witness that he was righteous, the Most High testifying of his gifts, and by it, he being dead yet speaketh. See? Because remember, Cain murdered his brother Abel, because the Most High accepted Abel's sacrifice because it was right. It was supposed to be a sacrifice by blood, and that was supposed to be the word of the Most High God, or the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God that were given from father to son, from father to son. So it was given by the Most High to Adam, and Adam gave it to Cain and Abel. And Cain didn't honor that, and tried to give up a wicked sacrifice by putting fruits and vegetables on the altar before the Lord. Okay, when that sacrifice was meant as a blood sacrifice or a blood atonement to forgive you for the sin of your father, Abel. Okay, that listened to the woman that listened to the serpent. Okay, and the serpent is and was in the form of a man. Okay? I'm telling you, it wasn't a goddamn snake. They've been telling you a lie for a long time. Okay? And what you need to do is to dispel the lies, and the only way you can dispel the lies is to find righteous men that are speaking the truth, whether you will hear or forbear, whether you like it or not, whether you will accept it or not. Okay? They're going to tell you whether it has to do with hurting your feelings or if you will accept it or not. It's not about your feelings and how you feel. It's not about what you think. It's not about what you believe. It is what you are to do by studying to show thyself approved unto the Most High, a workman that need not be ashamed, rightly dividing the words of truth. 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 15. The Bible in the New Testament tells you to study, and you won't do it. See? So don't be tripping when these devils come down with great wrath, knowing that they've got a short time to destroy your ass from off the face of the earth. 2 Ezra chapter 5, verse 2. But iniquity shall be increased above that which thou seest, that thou hast heard long ago. And the land that thou seest now to have roots shalt thou see wasted suddenly. Okay? So all these things are going to happen. Okay? All these things. Okay? Verse 8. There shall be a confusion also in many places, and the fire that shall be oft sent out again, and the wild beasts shall change their places, and mistress women shall bring forth monsters. Okay, and these monsters are these little gangbangers with blood touching blood, like it says in Hosea. Hold on, let me see if I can find that. In Hosea chapter 4, right, verse 1. Hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel, for the Lord hath a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of the Most High in the land. And the land that he's referring to is the lands in which, wherever we've been scattered to. Our people believe that this white man, blonde-haired, blue-eyed devil loves everybody, when he actually doesn't. Let me see if I can find you a picture of it. So this way you have an idea of what we're talking about here. Okay, Salakia. Okay, lots of screenshots. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Where's that latest one I just took a picture of? Is it there? There it is. Boom. Check this out. All the false gods all the gods of the nations are idols, but the Lord made the heavens. Right? Psalms 94. My God looks like me. See the little Asian baby? Look like Buddha. Right? My God looks like me. See the little baby from East India, right? My God looks like me. Look. What the? See? And 2/3 of our people done flip the fuck out. Okay? On this false God. Their God doesn't look like them. Okay? Okay? Let's go back up here to the top, see if I can find you a picture of what the Son of the Most High God looks like. Okay? This is where 2/3 of our people are going to get caught up and die, because they're going to call upon the name of the person on the right, Jeebus crossed, during the Great Tribulation, which is at the door. I mean, why would Agent Orange, weaponize state and local authorities by backing them up with military and weaponizing the state and local law enforcement with military hardware? What the fuck do they need military hardware for? Donald Trump is planning on doing away with habeas corpus and the Posse Comitatus Act, okay, under martial law. Okay, let me go get it. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Posse Comitatus Act. Okay, let me pull that up. Posse Comitatus. Posse Comitatus definition. Okay. In legal terms, a posse comitatus refers to a group of citizens mobilized by a sheriff or other peace officer to assist in maintaining order, making arrests, or serving legal documents. This is essentially a temporary police force drawn from the community. Right? So he's drawing a police force from the military. The military is the new community now? See? When used, regular law enforcement resources are insufficient. Right? The term posse comitatus comes from Latin, meaning power of the county. Come on, man. Latin was the language of the Romans. America is the image of Rome, the image of the beast. Rome is the beast, okay? Because they would take Israelites that believed in the Son of God, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, if they were caught, and if they knew back then as Israelites, if they denied the name of the Anointed, that they would be destroyed by the Most High. So they sacrificed their life. What these Caesars, these Roman emperors would do is they would crucify the individuals claiming to believe in Yahweh Shai HaMashiach of the Messianic faith. Right? A small group of individuals that the Romans back then, the beast people or the Edomites, were calling a cult. They're doing the same thing right today with the so-called black Hebrew Israelites. We're not black. Black is a misnomer. It is a mistruth. It is not real. It is a lie. Okay? It is, okay. Because see, I got to go into all these definitions of words in order to get you to understand, okay? The term posse comitatus comes from Latin, meaning power of the county. In the past, it was a common practice in many countries for sheriffs to call upon able-bodied citizens to assist in times of need. Okay? The Posse Comitatus Act. The term is also associated with the Posse Comitatus Act of 1878. This federal law restricts the use of the U.S. military in civilian law enforcement. Okay? So, Donald Trump is doing some hypocritical shit. Right? The Posse Comitatus Act of 1878 is a federal law that restricts the use of the U.S. military in civilian law enforcement, except in very specific circumstances. The very specific circumstances Donald Trump has laid out, saying that since crime is really high in the black and Latino neighborhoods, right, the Posse Comitatus Act does not apply to the minority neighborhoods across the United States and across the world. It doesn't apply. So the military can join in with the state and local law enforcement, okay, and go in and put law-abiding citizens. Okay, they're law-abiding. They're doing what they're supposed to do by the law of the land. They're doing what they're supposed to do. Doesn't matter if your color is not pink, red, like Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, and your blood is not spoiled like them. Right away, you're a criminal, and you have to be criminalized. They have to come up with some sort of facetious lie, okay, in order to not only criminalize you, but to take your personal property away from you and your rights as a legal citizen. That way, they can just kick your ass out of the country and ain't nothing you can do about it. Okay? Because with the Constitution of the United States, that's what gives minorities legal rights and privileges. Right? Supposedly. Under the Civil Rights Act, which has been repealed by Donald Trump. That's the reason why he's moving forward by repealing the habeas corpus and repealing the Posse Comitatus Act. Just move those out of the way, and that way white people can do white privilege and white supremacy all they want. That's the reason why they're bringing in these apartheid South African refugees who are Edomites into the United States. Okay? To take the place and to take the personal property of the minorities in those minority neighborhoods. Okay? Take their property, take their house, take their truck, take everything from them. Because they're no longer there. They're in holding cells, FEMA camps, waiting to be extradited to other countries in order to be exterminated. That's the fucking plan. Okay? The term is also associated with the Posse Comitatus Act of 1878. This federal law restricts the use of the U.S. military in civilian law enforcement, except in very specific circumstances. The act aims to prevent the military from being used against American citizens. Donald Trump doesn't see the minority or the Latinos and Native Americans as well as the Negroes as American citizens. He sees them as a problem. He sees them as criminals, okay, that are going to be euthanized and moved out of the way. You see what I mean? Role of a posse. In a typical scenario, a sheriff might call upon a posse to help with things like maintaining peace, making arrests, serving warrants. See? So Donald Trump is going through arresting mayors and city council members of these sanctuary cities, moving them out of the way, okay, and then repealing the laws of those states and cities, so this way they could go into the minority neighborhoods and replace the minorities with the so-called majority Edomites from South Africa, these refugees. That way they've got land, they've got freedom, they can do whatever they want. You see what I mean? This is the madness of these Edomite devils, man. Okay, real shit. Anyway, Hosea chapter 4, verse 2, by swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery, they break out, and blood touches blood. Therefore shall the land mourn, and everyone that dwelleth therein shall languish, with the beasts of the field and the fowls of heaven. Yep, the fishes of the sea also shall be taken away. All these things are happening right in our face, man. Okay. Okay. Tribulation, affliction, anguish, persecution, to be burdened, a pressure, to be pressured, metaphor, oppression, distress, straits. Okay. Now, let's go to, let's go get apartheid definition.
Here's the definition of apartheid. Historical. In South Africa, a policy or system of segregation or discrimination on grounds of race.
Okay. Apartheid refers to the implementation and maintenance of a system of legalized racial segregation in which one racial group is deprived of political and civil rights. And this is what Donald Trump is doing. By removing the Civil Rights Act of 1964, removing the, adding in the Posse Comitatus Act and weaponizing it towards the civility of law-abiding citizens who happen to be the so-called minority, okay, and then suspending the the habeas corpus. So this is where there's no due process. They can arrest you for nothing and hold you indefinitely. See? Apartheid refers to the implementation and maintenance of a system of legalized racial segregation in which one racial group is deprived of political and civil rights. You no longer have civil rights. You can go back and Google it yourself. Donald Trump, if you're black, so-called black, or minority, you don't have civil rights anymore. Okay? They just haven't got around to you putting a stop to your ass on being on the street. Okay? Apartheid is a crime against humanity punishable under the Rome Statute of the International Criminal Court. Okay? And Donald Trump is going to commit crimes against humanity. And he doesn't give a shit. Because the people over there, those imposters claiming themselves to be God's chosen people, are not God's chosen people. They're imposters. The Bible tells you. Okay, let's go where the Bible tells you at then. Revelation, okay, chapter 2, verse 9. Okay, I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are the Jews and are not, but are of the synagogue of Satan. Okay, they are the synagogue of Satan. Those people over there and the people here in America are the only people that, they're the only ones that, okay, there you go, look. Damn, okay. These are the only people that say it's legal. These are the things that, this is legal for the people that call themselves Jews and are not, but do lie. Sanhedrin 55b, a Jew may marry a 3-year-old girl, specifically 3 years old and a day. Come on now. Sanhedrin 54b, a Jew may have sex with a child as long as the child is less than 9 years old. Come on, man. Look, you see the picture? This is, okay, look. Kethaboth 11b, when a grown-up man has intercourse with a little girl, it is nothing. Okay? This is what we're talking about, man. And you think we're preaching hate. God loves everybody. Do you think God would love them motherfuckers over there doing that shit? Huh? Hold up. God loves all of these individuals. These individuals are the ones I was talking about, okay, that commit the crimes against little kids. Okay? The Talmud is their Bible. Okay, you need to understand that. Sorry about the clock just went off. It's, I don't know what time. What time is it? 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay. Anyway, yeah, these are the individuals that commit all of this madness. You see Revelation 2 and 9, Revelation 3 and 9. I ain't done yet. Hold on. Revelation 3 and 9. Boom. Okay, hold on. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. Okay? Let's go back. What happened, man? Revelation 2, verse 10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and you shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. So the Son of God, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, a so-called black man from the tribe of Judah, is telling you to be faithful unto death. Okay? Because these devils are going to come against you. Okay? He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. He that overcometh shall not be hurt of the second death. Okay? These devils, man, are wicked. Right? Revelation chapter 2, verse 25. But that which ye have already hold fast till I come. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father. So Yahweh Shai is going to share his power seat with the elect, those that risk their lives in freedom to spread the truth of this gospel. Because those are the very self-same individuals that, as I said before in the book of Amos, chapter 8, verse 11, they're going to bring a famine in the land, not a famine of bread nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord. And the only way they can bring about that famine is to make it illegal for us to tell you the truth. See? Anyway, let's get back over here to this video if I can find it. Uh-oh, there it is. Let's listen to what these devils are saying.
Today, nearly 60 white South Africans were admitted into the United States. It's part of President Donald Trump's resettlement program for white Afrikaners, largely descendants of Dutch and French colonial settlers in South Africa. Afrikaners also led the racist apartheid government there until it ended in 1994. Today, the White House alleges that a new South African law, which redistributes unused land to the state, is racist, and that the white minority is being persecuted by the black-led government. President Trump even halted all aid to South Africa back in February. Applications from these white families were fast-tracked by the administration, even as it suspended the U.S. refugee resettlement program, leaving thousands of approved refugees worldwide stranded. Joining us now is Bill Freilich, the head of the Refugee and Migrants Rights Division at Human Rights Watch. Bill, welcome to the NewsHour.
Good to be here.
So President Trump was asked about the classification of these families as refugees. Here's what he had to say about conditions in South Africa.
It's a genocide that's taking place that you people don't want to write about, but it's a terrible thing that's taking place. And farmers are being killed. They happen to be white. But whether they're white or black makes no difference to me. But white farmers are being brutally killed, and their land is being confiscated in South Africa.
White farmers being brutally killed, their land being confiscated. What do you make of these allegations of white genocide, as the president has said, as we know Elon Musk has said before, and the classification of these families as refugees?
Yeah. Well, this is not factually supported from any of the information that we've seen. The expropriation law that you mentioned only came into effect in January, and it is stated that it is for non-compensation for private land that would go into public hands if that land has been unused, if there's nobody living and working on that land or developing it. And so far, of course, none of that land has actually been taken. So there have been homicide rates that are high rates in South Africa. I think it was like 13,000 in 2023, but only single digits were farmers that were killed. Now, you don't want anyone to be killed, and I don't want to disparage any one person's story, but we don't have the phenomenon of people fleeing the country as we do with refugees all over the world. There are about 38 million refugees in the world who, by definition, are people who've crossed an international border because they're fleeing persecution, they're fleeing war, they're fleeing conflict. And there are no Afrikaner refugee camps. The UN High Commissioner for Refugees didn't refer any South Africans of any background, of any race, of any language for resettlement in the last year. So this is something really new and different from anything we've seen.
And the families who arrived today were approved in a few months' time. We understand they were flown over on a State Department chartered flight. Is that the usual process for refugee resettlement?
No, I mean, you often have refugees that have spent years and years in refugee camps, and then, out of the millions of refugees in the world, less than 1% are ever even referred for third country resettlement. They have exhaustive vetting, security screening, health screening, screening to make sure that they actually do have a well-founded fear of being persecuted. And they usually are people that have great difficulties in the country of first asylum. They're people that have difficulties in the refugee camps in which they're living. Maybe they're being persecuted in the country of first arrival as well. So these are circumstances that you would assess on a case-by-case basis, and that takes a long period of time to do. This was done.
See, now you see in the background the people that actually need the help. These are the individuals that need the help, not those Edomite trash. The Edomite trash, they shit. Look, they're small among the heathen and greatly despised among men. Let's get it. Okay, let's get it. Greatly despised. Boom. Okay, hold on. Okay. Right, hold on. Right? About Obadiah 1 and 2. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. Okay? These are the people that the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai hates. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? The Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai brought these devils to the ground. Okay? He made them small among the heathen. He's going to reward them by, incentivizing, them by giving them financial subsidies to have babies, because the women in America can't have babies, and the vast majority of the women, that the so-called white women here, are having sex with the minorities, married to the minorities. Okay? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest amongst the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. Right? So the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is bringing these devils down to the ground. Let's go over here to Isaiah chapter 33, verse 1. Ooh. Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou wast not spoiled. Right? And dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. This is concerning Babylon the Great and America and Donald Trump, Agent Orange, and these goddamn tariffs. Right? He's dealing treacherously with the nations, and he's trying to spoil them, right? When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee, right? So even if he puts a freeze or a halt on these tariffs, they're still going to deal treacherously with America and raise the damn tariff percentage up 200%, 300%, 400%. Okay? They're still going to do it, okay? Because this is an opportunity for all of these heathen nations to get back at America, Babylon the Great, for all of the wickedness that they've done and spread throughout the entire earth. right? Now, let's go to, let's see, where was I at? Apartheid, right? Apartheid definition, right? In South Africa, whatever. Okay. Okay, apartheid. Apartheid was a system of institutionalized racial segregation that existed in South Africa and Southwest Africa, now Namibia, from 1948 to the early 1990s. That's over 50 years, people. Come on, man. These people don't give a shit about you. It was characterized by an authoritarian political culture based on Baskap, or bosshood, right? Which ensured that South Africa was dominated politically, socially, and economically by the nation's minority white population. Okay? Now, I've got it written over here, apartheid, a policy or system of segregation or discrimination on grounds of race, segregation of white people against non-white people in South Africa, enforced by a white minority government. It means keeping white and non-white people separate in many aspects of life, like where they could work, even use public facilities. The word apartheid means apartness, right? See? And Donald Trump is bringing these goddamn devils over here. Okay? And he's trying to make a separation between the whites and the blacks before they get here to make them feel more comfortable by living here. Right? But they're still going to realize that and just like in South Africa, they're outnumbered 30-1. Okay? But all of these people will legally be armed, and if a minority has a gun, okay, he'll be shot to death on the spot. What do they call it? Damn, I forgot the name of it. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. No, it's not in this book. I forgot it. What do they call judge, jury, and execution on the spot? Damn, I forgot the name of it. But yeah, that's what they do. Let me see if I can find it in this book. But our people suffer from Stockholm Syndrome, which is a psychological phenomenon where a victim develops positive feelings toward their captor or abusers. Positive feelings toward the abuser, empathy and identification with the abuser, fear and distrust of authorities, and rationalization of the abuser's actions. Right? So they're trying to our people rationalize the reason why white man treats them like shit and calls them niggers, right? I.e. a coping mechanism developed in response to prolonged, intense stress, fear, and powerlessness. Okay? And that's what these devils have done, man. They've successfully pushed that upon our people, right? And they've Hellenized our people, right? Which is in a wider sense the name that embraces all nations that are not Jews, that made the language, customs, and learning of the Greeks their own. Okay? And our people did that. Let me see if I can find, what is it? It's right there at the tip of my tongue, but I can't put it, hold on. Maybe I'm going too far, but no, I haven't went back. No, it's in a different book. Shit. Okay. Hold on. I'm trying to find it. It's like you. What do they call it? Summary execution. That's it. Let's get it. I knew it was gonna be there. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Right? Summary execution refers to the immediate unaliving of a person without a fair trial or legal process. Okay? Are we clear now? Now, Donald Trump, like I said before, now you just saw in the video that he wants to do away with habeas corpus, which is, let's go back to habeas corpus now. Let me see if I can find it. Find habeas, where's it? Habeas corpus definition. Donald Trump is doing away with this. Habeas corpus is a legal procedure requiring a person in custody to be brought before a court to determine the legality of their detention. It essentially ensures that someone who is arrested or imprisoned can have their detention reviewed by a judge to ensure it is lawful. Okay? This is the right to challenge unlawful imprisonment is a fundamental protection against abuse of power. Okay? is to the primary purpose of habeas corpus is to prevent unjust detention. It allows individuals or someone acting on their behalf to petition a court to order the release of a prisoner if the detention is deemed unlawful. Okay? Donald Trump wants to do away with that altogether. Said, fuck it. This is what we're going to do. Okay? Summary execution. That gives these what do you call these South Africans the ability to just walk up summarily and blow your goddamn brains out, and there's nothing you can do about it. He's going back to the days of apartheid in 1990. You know, apartheid 2.0. That's what he's doing. Okay? Summary execution refers to the immediate unaliving of a person without a fair trial or legal process, typically after being accused of a crime. So they could come up and say, you touched my wife on the butt, and blow your fucking brains out. Summary execution on the spot. And you were nowhere around the woman. You were across the street. You were going to McDonald's. You were going to a Wendy's or something to get a goddamn sandwich. You were walking because you can't afford to drive anymore. You can't afford insurance. You can't afford a car because they repossessed your vehicle. Okay, trying to find something to get something to eat for your family. Right? And through summary execution, just blow your goddamn brains out. They just falsely accuse you. They could go across the street and start bothering you and pushing you around and then shoot you in the head and then say that, tell a goddamn lie on the spot. And you're a criminal right then. You never made it home back to your wife. That's the same way they were doing it back in the 1950s and 1940s to so-called blacks and Latinos. Nationwide. It often occurs during wartime or in situations where individuals are considered threats. What situation that the so-called blacks and Latinos, which are the minority in America, are considered threat? Gangbanging? You threaten these little bastards and put them in the military, they'll quit gangbanging altogether. They'll just quit. Oh yeah, they're retired right away. Okay? This practice is considered a violation of international law and human rights. Lack of a fair trial. The defining characteristic is the absence of due process, meaning no legal procedures, hearings, or opportunity for a defense. Okay, this is the hypocrisy of Esau Edom, the so-called white man. This is the hypocrisy of Agent Orange, Donald Trump. Extrajudicial unaliving. Summary execution is also known as extrajudicial unaliving, which means unaliving is outside of the legal framework. A terror tactic. It can be used to instill fear and enforce compliance. Okay, and if they can do that, they can force you to take the mark of the beast. Okay, the RFID microchip by force of the sword. Okay, they'll blow your brains out. You're immediately effective with no civil rights, no habeas corpus, no posse comitatus, or posse comitatus is being weaponized against you. Okay, and then there's no due process of law. Under summary execution, you're immediately a criminal just because of the color of your skin. Okay, this is where they're going with this thing, man. Segregation. Apartheid laws required people to live in separate areas, use different schools and hospitals, even segregated and segregated businesses and segregate separate busing. Discrimination. White people had more rights and opportunities than non-white people, who were often denied basic freedoms. Okay? Who were denied basic freedoms? The minority. Okay? This is what's going on, man. Oppression. The system was designed to maintain white power and privilege, and it causes immense suffering for the non-white majority. Apartheid has had a profound and lasting impact on South African society, leading to poverty, violence, and political instability.
Done in 3 months as well. So difficulty.
Let's go to the.
So these are circumstances that you would assess on a case-by-case basis.
What do you see? Poverty, right? That's what you see. Say it again. Oppression. The system was designed to maintain white power and privilege, and it causes immense suffering for the non-white majority. Apartheid has had a profound and lasting impact on South Africa, leading to poverty, violence, and political instability. After decades of resistance from anti-apartheid activists and international pressure, apartheid was dismantled. Apartheid is ethnic cleansing. Okay, so let's finish what this Enema said.
And that takes a long period of time to do. This was done in 3 months. And these are people that came directly from their country of origin. They were not people that were living in refugee camps. They were not people that were vetted by the UN Refugee Agency or referred to the United States in the normal way. And they were flown here in chartered planes paid for directly by the US. Usually it's the International Organization for Migration that does travel loans that refugees are expected to pay back actually upon arrival.
As we speak, we know the Trump administration has ended deportation protections for a number of countries, people from Afghanistan, Haiti, Sudan. The refugee resettlement program, as we noted, has been halted. It's very difficult to ignore the racial dynamics here. White South Africans have been allowed in while people from majority black and brown countries have been kept out. What do you see when you look at these policies?
Clearly, there's a racial twist here. When you see, again, going in the first Trump administration, where he described Haitians as coming from four-letter word countries, that he said he wanted people that looked like Norwegians to come to the United States. And in 2018, long before the Russians had invaded Ukraine, under the first Trump administration, the group that he chose to increase the refugee numbers were Ukrainians, while there was a dramatic decrease, slashing of refugee numbers in Africa, in the Middle East, and in the rest of the world. And so now...
Okay, now you see what I mean? This is man, okay, this is scientific racism. Okay, let's get it. Let's get it. Hold on. Let's get it. Let me get back. Scientific racism, sometimes termed biological racism, is the pseudo-scientific belief that the human species is divided into biologically distinct taxa called races, and that empirical evidence exists to support or justify racial discrimination, racial inferiority, or racial superiority. Okay? Scientific racism. Let's get it. Scientific racism, sometimes termed biological racism, is a pseudo-scientific belief that the human species is divided into biologically distinct taxa called races, and that empirical evidence exists to support or justify racial discrimination, racial inferiority, or superiority. Right? See? Like I said before, it's all about racialism, racial realism, race realism, or race science. That's all it's about, man. And what is science? The study of truth. Right? Okay? So, I mean, these devils, man, they get these motherfuckers. Come on, man.
And so now we've seen a complete closing of the door, a total suspension of the refugee resettlement program for all refugees everywhere. And then 18 days later, another executive order that privileges only white South Africans.
Bill Fralick from Human Rights Watch, thank you for being here. We appreciate your time.